Genesis 37, verse 3. Now Israel, that's Jacob, loved Joseph more than all his children because he was the son of his old age. And he made him a coat of many colors. And when his brethren saw that their father loved him more than all his brethren, they hated him and could not speak peaceably unto him. And that's the way people are. They see you prospering. They see you looking good, but they don't know where you came from. There'll be people who are close to you that will dislike you just because you're moving forward. There'll be family members just like this story right here. People will hate on you just because you have an established reputation. Did you hear me? I said an established reputation. And they would try to tear that reputation down. But what God has established in that person can't nothing nor no one tear down. People can lie. Are you with me here? My late pastor Leo Daniel told the story. He was in the barbershop getting his hair cut, and he was right back in his chair, and they were in the shaving period and shaving, and a man struck up a conversation right next to him, said, "You know that old Leo Daniel? He's nothing but a homemonger. He's a sad situation." And the barber asked him, say, "You know Leo?" "Yeah, I know him." "What do he look like?" "Well, he's tall and light-skinned and got an afro." And the man looked over at Pastor Daniel. He didn't look nothing like that. He was short and kind of thick. Come on now. He got his people all mixed up. People would try to tear you down and don't even know nothing about you. But you don't have to fight fire with fire. Somebody lie on you, you don't lie on them. Tell your neighbor, if they lie on you, don't lie on them. So he was the father's favorite. And the father bought him a coat of many colors. Sharp coat. Man, got all the rainbow colors in there. Can't you see him coming in the room? And one night, Joseph went to bed in verse 5, and he had a dream. Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more. If they didn't already dislike him because he thought he was so such a much, they really hate him now because he's got a dream now. Are y'all with me? And verse 6 says, and he said unto them, hear I pray you, this dream which I have dreamed. For behold, we were binding sheaves in the field. And lo, my sheaf arose, and also stood upright, and behold, your sheaves stood round about, and made obeisance to my sheaf. Obeisance means bow down, as to honor a potentate or king or some hierarchy. Watch this, verse 8 says, and his brethren said to him, should thou indeed reign over us? Or should thou indeed have dominion over us? And they hated him yet the more for his dreams and for his words. See, watch this now. You can't tell everybody your dreams. You all happy? And you tell somebody your dreams. Thank God you did not listen to the naysayers that tried to prevent you from doing what God has designed you to do. That's the problem with some of y'all sitting in this room right now. The reason why you got a stomachache right now. Because you've listened to too many people trying to give you guidance. Some things that God revealed to you, you cannot put it under the counsel of man. Rewind the tape. Some things you can't tell nobody. Unless God allow you to release it, something you can't tell nobody because it will cause a working of the invisible enemy forces. If you're not strong enough, you will not be able to stand. If that didn't beat, beat everything, watch verse 9. And he dreamed had another dream. Went to sleep, went to dream. I don't know what he was eating, but he dreamed again. That's what the old folks say, you must have ate too much. and told it his brethren and said, behold, I have dreamed a dream more. And behold, the sun, well, he didn't have a heat stroke or something, and the moon and the 11 stars made obeisance to me, bow down to me. And he told it to his father and his brethren. And his father rebuked him and said unto him, what is this dream that thou hast dreamed? Shall I and thy mother and thy brethren indeed come to bow down ourselves to thee in the earth? And the brothers envied him, but his father observed the saying. Dreams fulfilled. They hated him because they thought that that dream was from him. But the dream was from God. I met some people that I knew 27 years ago. We went to a little gathering there in Houston, Texas, not long ago. And some of the people are in worse condition 27 years later than they were 27 years ago. Where there's no vision, you don't have nothing tugging at you and encouraging you to do better. There was a constant conspiracy from the womb to the tomb to kill the master, to assassinate him. Couldn't touch him. He said, my time is not yet. Y'all can do whatever you want to, and no man take my life. I lay it down. Are y'all with me here? And if I lay it down, I have the power to pick it up again. Listen at this. I just got this from heaven. Listen to this. You need to hear this. God really put a vision and dream in you. You will have at times, can I say it like this, where it don't sound like a cuss word, trouble on earth. You have trouble in your life. At one period of your life, listen at this, Britt. At one period in your life, when God really got something special for you, it looked like if it ain't one thing, it's another will go wrong in your life. Have anybody been through that place right now? Come on, do it. If you haven't been through that, you just hold your horses, because if God put a vision in you, the devil would try to take it out of you. He'll try to impregnate your mind with lies and rumors and innuendos. He'll try to do some things that is a conspiracy from the pits of hell to try to stop you. So, one of the things we got to understand, that God wants us to know that dreams are possible in its fulfillment. Let me go ahead and tell you the story. Listen real quickly, because you got to hear the story. So one day the father sent him out to check on his brothers. They working for the family business. And they seen him from a distance. That come that old dreamer. man, we finna jack him up. We finna take him out. Y'all get your knives ready. We finna cut his head off. We're gonna kill him. And then what will become of his dream? And Reuben stood up and said, don't do that. One of the brothers standing, don't do that, don't. Just throw him over in a ditch somewhere, because he was planning on going back and get him later. Reuben loved Joseph. Don't do that. We need somebody to stand in and keep the peace. Don't do that. If you hear folk talking about folk in the church or out of the church, you'll say, don't do that. No, let's don't talk about that. Let's talk about the Lord. I tell you, folk, those old gossipers and mess makers, they'll hang up the phone real quick. You start talking about the Lord. Here's a better way right here. When they start, stirring up some mess and all stuff like that, just start praying. Lord, thank you so much. I believe that person's going to make it, Lord, if we just pray for them and lift them up before you right now. In the name of Jesus. Before you know they done hung up. So Reuben said, don't do that. And he begged to differ with them. He said, we're going to kill him. What will become of his dream? Let me tell you something. You may kill the dreamer, but you can't kill the dream. They killed Dr. Martin Luther King several years ago in Memphis, Tennessee. They killed the dreamer, but the dream is being fulfilled right before our very eyes. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold this truth self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream. I have a dream that one day my 4 little children will stand hand in hand, black children, white children, Jews and Gentiles, Protestant and Catholic. I have a dream. And he spoke that with passion because it came from God. And whenever God gives you a dream, they may kill the dreamer, but they cannot kill the dream. I have a dream also here in the body of Christ to be a leader in this society. Every time I turn a corner, some of my fellow ministers and friends that I know go preach in their churches, they got the thousands. People everywhere standing in line to get in the church. Come back to my small flock. Look out. Don't discourage me, because I have a dream. And I'm not encouraged by what I see. I'm encouraged by what God said. We walk by faith and not by sight. Therefore, we know that everything will be all right, which means I'm not moved by how I feel. I already know with his stripes, I'm healed. I'm not worried about who's supporting me and who's not supporting me. God is the greatest of support. I'm not worried about how it's going to end up. He that began a great work in you, Philippians 1:6, shall work it and complete it. Even at the return of Jesus Christ, he'll work it in the earth realm. I never forget, and I hope you don't mind me sharing this over and over again, but that Africa tour did something to me. 2009, Lilongwe, Malawi, Africa. 2011-12, Nairobi, Kenya. 2 times. That did something to me to see the motherland. The original piece of earth that was fine-tilled by humanity. I was moved how the people made it. They didn't have no convenience store on every corner. They didn't have the conveniency of even having animals roaming the fields. But they made it. God got a way. If he put you in any place, if he put you there, you'll always rise to the top. But don't try to get rid of all your haters. You need your haters. Tell your neighbor, you need your haters. Because some things you won't do until your haters get a hold of you. Some things you won't even move. I wouldn't have even moved in 98 until they threatened my life. God spoke to me and said, you don't have to put up with that. You resign from that right there. They don't receive your word. You shake the dust. You move on. Be more tolerable for Sodom and Gomorrah when you kick out a prophet. You got to be careful. Sometimes we take people for granted who stand before us, who have the ability to not miss a beat. I'm not really speaking right now. I'm controlled by another. The Spirit of the living God is giving me the speech and the articulation of words to speak even right now. I don't have the knowledge to do what I'm doing right now, but when I'm called to do, God will equip you to do. So they devised another plan. They said, we're not going to kill him. Reuben has stepped in, and what we're going to do is just beat him up or cut him up or do something to him. Well, over there is a well, an empty well with no water. We're going to throw him down in there. So they threw him down in there. And then they seen a slave caravan going by. And they say, let's dig him up and sell him to these Ishmaelites. And the Ishmaelites came and offered them 20 pieces of silver. So they had to devise another plan to make it look like that Joseph was dead. So what they did is killed a kid goat, cut his throat, put blood on the coat of many colors, took it to the father, said, Father, this is the only thing remaining of your baby son, our baby brother. And the father just ripped his clothes and started crying and weeping and grieving. My dearly beloved son is dead. He's gone now. So he believed what they had conspired against Joseph. Oh, let's fast forward the tape. 22 years later. It took 22 years for the dream to come to pass. Though it may tarry, it shall come to pass. Think he was around 17 years of age. Now he's around 39, 40 years of age now. He's now a grown potentate. He's sitting on a throne in Egypt, the right-hand man of Pharaoh. Well known, everybody paid homage to him, came in the presence of this Joseph, who once upon a time was a slave. Now they're bowing down to him. I like end of stories. At times when I read so much, I want to hear what the end of the story say. I read a little bit at the front book, part of the book, then I turn it all the way to the end, see what the end of the story, how it concludes. That's what I did with this one right here some years ago. I just fast forward, and what happened is there was a famine in the land of Joseph kinfolk. When God called you, you better watch how you handle folk who God called. This generation talk about like preachers like they pimps. And sometimes we preachers, we don't do it good enough too. They got these Los Angeles millionaire preachers talking about going on TV, having a TV program. I despise all that junk right there. But I'm talking about there are some good preachers. But fast forward this tape, he's sitting up on the throne, and watch this, Brother Tobin, he's in control of all of the food in the entire world. Famine is in the world. And the brothers were sent by their father, Jacob, to go into Egypt to plead for some bread. You want to find the end of the story? You can turn to the 50th chapter of Genesis, and you'll find the end of the story. He had on all of the wealth garb, uniform. He well dressed, fine tailored uniform, walking like a dignitary. Have you ever seen President Obama walk across the White House lawn? He got a cool stride. He cool. I said, Prez is cool, boy. He cool. Like he's walking on top of the wind. Look at Prez. He put a whole new twist in the way a president walk. He got a president swag. Come on now. And this is no doubt, he wasn't arrogant, wasn't prideful. It come with the territory. When you get confidence about yourself, you do better for yourself. You don't just take a bath one time a week, but you take a bath 2 and 3 times a day. Make sure you keep everybody else in check. Come on now. You won't get nobody off with some odor. Come on, watch this here. But, you know, when you get up there, unconsciously you've changed. Your whole means of art and articulation of speech, things to do in society, you just do it different. Folk look at you, think you all that. You think you all that. Look at him. Big head self. But I ain't worried about that right there. Just move on. Let folk talk, and you keep on walking. They got in the huddle and say, do you know who that is? That's our brother that we did bad 22 years ago. We tried to kill him, and we sold him as a slave. Look at him now. He's standing between us and starvation. Better watch how you treat folk today. You mistreat somebody today, you may need them tomorrow. You go over there and get hired on a job, and guess who's sitting up in the supervisor's seat? Somebody you cussed out some days ago. But God is saying here in this message, when they finally brought this to his attention and said, Joseph, do you know who we are? We're your brothers. The father had just died 2 days prior. They finally came straight. We're your brothers, and 22 years ago we tried to kill you. We sold you as a slave. And please don't kill us. Please don't harm us. Joseph said, who do you think I am? You think I'm God? I don't have that power. Come on, talk to me. What you meant for evil, God intended for good. Something I realized that I got to go through on my way to the top. And where God is trying to take us to the top. Some things I got to encounter that it may structure and govern me in accordance to what God wants me to be and want you to be. So Joseph said, it's all right, I'm not going to do no harm for you. Fact about it, God fix it up where now I got to take care of you. I'm not going to abuse my authority, but the dream has been fulfilled. I told you I had a dream 22 years ago that your sheaves were bowing to my one sheaf. And look at God, how God has brought it to pass. You got to keep on dreaming. You got to keep on holding to your dream. You got to see yourself there even before you get there. Have I got a witness up in him? You got to hold on to God's unchanging hand, because God will get you to the top. Do I have some company in him? God will help you to fulfill your wildest